When the word terrorism pops up, the first image in most people's heads isn't a farmer's field. But maybe it should be. Terrorism isn't limited to blowing up buildings. Our food supply is also a target, and a big one, a $1 trillion industry that accounts for 1 in 5 jobs here in the United States. This week on Oklahoma Horizon, we begin by looking at bioterror and the work underway to protect us against it. Here's our Brian Bindley.
Even though this may not look like it, this could very well be the next battlefield on the war on terrorism. Documents found in Afghanistan show Al-Qaeda has targeted American agriculture.
One of the things that was found in a cave in Afghanistan, an Al-Qaeda cave in Afghanistan, was actual documentation on paper of biological agents that could affect animals.
Diseases like foot and mouth, while common in other parts of the world, have been eradicated in the United States. However, if reintroduced, could be devastating to our economy.
Agriculture is the cornerstone of Oklahoma's economy, and it is the cornerstone of the economy of the United States.
Agricultural exports account for 13% of the U.S. gross domestic product, amounting to $140 billion. In 2003, beef exports alone brought in a record of $3.86 billion. After a single accidental case of mad cow disease in December of that year, beef exports dropped by 73%, losing approximately $3 billion. Dr. Leslie Cole says an intentional outbreak would be devastating to our foreign relations.
Look at the impact on our foreign trade in beef, particularly that one case of BSE had on all our export markets for beef to all our trading partners. These agents are looked at by all of our trading partners as very significant. One case would close our borders to export.
With large producers and feed yards located throughout the state, Oklahoma could very well be an ideal target. Speaking to cattlemen at Southern Plains Beef Symposium, retired USDA Administrator Floyd P. Horn says the lack of an attack may have more to do with the mentality of terrorism rather than our defenses.
Clearly, what they seem to like to do is blow things up and to have a major, highly visible impact on people. And of course, an attack on livestock might not have that same impact as an attack on people. So that may be why we haven't seen it. The trouble, of course, is that we could see it again tomorrow.
That's why the FBI monitors facilities like the Oklahoma National Stockyards, where more than 1 million head of cattle pass through these gates each year.
The Oklahoma National Stockyards here in Oklahoma City has been designated a Tier 1 national infrastructure by the FBI. That means that if something disrupted the functioning of that place, it would affect the nation, the nation's economy and the nation's security. And that facility ships cattle within 24 hours to about 21 states, and in another 24 or 36 hours to nearly 30 states.
Making it difficult to track and contain an outbreak if it occurs.
If they were to infect just a few animals, you'd start to see drooling and some of the symptoms of foot and mouth disease in about 7 or 8 days. Within 14 or 15 days, you'd know you had a problem. The quarantines would start to be set. If there'd been an influx and outflux of calves, for instance, to the feedlots, those would have to be traced. But they probably would have gone to the feedlots, and so you'd have this all over the place within a period of 2 weeks, and shortly after you saw the first symptoms.
Because the United States constantly deals in a global market, surveillance systems for foreign animal diseases that have already been in place are now beefed up by the Department of Homeland Security. However, Brewer says it is up to us to be an extra set of eyes.
So everybody needs to be cognizant, everybody needs to be aware, everybody needs to be vigilant. And if you see things that are out of the ordinary, if we have animal death losses that are out of the ordinary, you need to alert the Department of Ag or the area veterinarian's office up the street, the federal office.
So even though an attack has not occurred, it doesn't mean we are safe. Preparation and awareness will be our best line of defense against attacks on our agricultural infrastructure.